Welcome back to BVarsity Live, everybody. I'm Zach Ewing. I'm back.
Yay.
Trevor, I kicked him over to the side of the studio here.
I did all
where
the
he
hard
belongs.
work. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah. I can still smell your. I think your coffee mug is growing something, by the way. When was the last time you washed that thing?
I wash it weekly.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second. That thing's disgufting.
The only thing that goes into it is coffee. It doesn't get anything bad.
So
I use it daily.
So in other words, you're backtracking how much you wash it, how often you wash it, because you don't wash it. Admit it.
I don't put milk in it. There's no creamer.
Okay.
I'm not eating cereal.
For the record, Trevor never washes that thing. Hey, we welcome in Kyle Shiloh. He's going to end this argument for us, I think. For those who have followed Bakersfield Prep Sports for a while, you surely remember Kyle. He was a Garces graduate. We said 2003, is that right?
I graduated 03. Yeah.
Okay.
Graduated
03. I think he was our player of the year that year. That was
No,
before either of
2001,
us got
2000.
here.
You were player of the year as a junior, right?
I do not remember.
Yes, you were.
I have to be honest with you. Okay.
Robert
All right.
was your senior year. You were your guys' junior year.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kyle's been a Globetrotter since then. You went to the University of Nevada where you played for 4 years, all 4 years there?
4 years, yeah.
And then have been in Europe most of the time since then, various leagues every year. You don't know where you're going. You wrote a couple of columns for us. This past year, you decided it was going to be your last year. You ended up in Finland and won a Finnish title. Congratulations on that
Thank
championship.
you.
So that's a heck of a way to go out. Let's talk about that first before we get to Bakersfield Christian, which is where you're at now. But to win a title in Finland, I mean, I don't think it's on most people's radars, but I don't care where you are. Winning a championship is a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's something I've struggled to do my whole career. You know, when I was in Poland, I had a very, very, very good team, but we came up short because that's such a tough league, and it's like that in France and all these other countries as well. So, you know, I'm just blessed to be able to have the opportunity to win a championship. Not many players get a chance to do it in their professional career.
Now, you hear a lot of professional players say the individual accolades don't mean anything unless you win a title. Is it like that in Europe too, or are more guys looking out for themselves a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of both, but more guys looking out for themselves, I would say, because you're kind of contract to contract. Maybe you have a 1+1. 2, 3, 4 year contracts are very rare unless, you know, you're with Olympiacos or some of the best teams in Europe. So I would say it's a little bit of both, but more so guys looking out for themselves.
It's more of a mercenary type.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
type deal.
It's
now,
actually
go ahead, Trevor.
It's funny that you say that too. That winning the titles. I got a buddy from college. I don't know if you remember Aaron Haynes from Fresno.
I do.
Yeah, Aaron played up at Boise State. He's a gold buddy of mine.
Yeah.
We took a bunch of classes together. We used to hang out. He just won a title in Korea the same way. You know, Aaron's. Aaron's 35 now and still playing ball. He's got his wife and kids over there. Your wife and your 2 daughters are here in the studio. You guys are looking for a family now. For you, how much of that did you really have to work on making sure that every time you signed a contract that you knew that your 3 girls in your family were taken care of as much as you were, if not more?
That's tough because, I mean, you sign a contract and a lot of times you don't know where you're going. So, you know, for me having 2 kids and a wife, it's kind of going into the dark about the situation. So I have my agent looking into it. You know, he's talking to the team saying, you know, Shiloh absolutely needs this, can't budge on that, you know, making sure all the pieces are set before you go. But that's a big deal, making sure they're comfortable when you go because you don't really know what you're getting into. You know, as I got older, I knew a lot of the teams. I knew most of the GMs and the coaches, so it was easier. When I was younger, it was touch and go. It was tough.
Zach, we got to thank
Can you say anything
Kyle's
in
wife.
Finnish for us?
Kiitos is thank you. Alehuva is you're welcome. Moi is hi, I think. So
Do you
almost
pick up
sounds
a lot of the
Hawaiian,
language? I mean, you're playing
dialect.
with guys who speak English too, so maybe you don't. I don't know.
in Finland, the majority of the Finnish people speak English.
Okay.
Because it's Scandinavian. In Scandinavia, a lot of people speak English. France, no one speaks English. So I was there 2 years, and I was gonna take a French class to learn the language because that would have boosted the money, you know, for me a lot because I would have been able to speak their language. I would have had a bigger contract, but I ended up having my first daughter, after my second year. So I came home for the birth and stayed for 6 months and then went back overseas. So I didn't get to do that, but I picked up bits and pieces and completely forgot them as soon as I left.
Right.
I can't lie to you. So,
Well, it's such a cultural thing, though. I mean, and it's what an opportunity for you to see the world while you're working. Did you have favorite spots or a top 2 or 3 places you were that you'd recommend to people?
Italy was lovely. I toured Italy in college. Actually, that was a great experience. France was beautiful for the 2 years I was there. Paris, you know, me and my wife have a lot of memories there. We went to the Canary Islands. You know, that was beautiful. pretty much seen, you know, a lot of different countries, a lot of different stuff. So I would say France was the most beautiful that we went to.
I know people say the NBA is the dream, but how cool. I mean, for you to have that experience, you couldn't have dreamed some of that stuff.
No,
I'm sure.
I didn't expect this. You know, when I was coming out of college, I wasn't sure what I knew I wanted to play, but you really don't know what you're getting into or what you're going to experience. So, you know, once you start, it's a lot different than your later years as a veteran when you're overseas. So yeah, it was not really expected, and I enjoyed it, man. It was a beautiful, fun experience.
Now, you talk about your family. Your first daughter was born, and then your last daughter was just born a year ago, right? Or she?
No, not even a year ago.
Yeah. So
Not
you
even
just
7 months.
You have the baby.
How's she walking around already, man? She's got your athletic genes then.
My oldest?
No, your youngest. Isn't
No, she's not walking. She's 7 months. The
Oh, I
oldest.
thought I saw her walking around.
Nah,
My bad.
My youngest is 8 months tomorrow, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
He's-
I remember
he's
you
getting
telling
there.
me that.
Yeah, he's
8?
standing up, but he's not walking yet. So, anyway, the family thing, and we talk about how hard it is to be moving around. How much does that have to do with retirement? Because physically, you probably had a couple years left. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got you know, I averaged 15 to 20 points in the playoffs,
Right.
so I my body feels great. But when I'm doing this, it's never about me. You know, it's always been about my family. It's always been my wife, my kids, and everything I do is for them. So, you know, as a 30-year-old man, that's what it's about. Not doing what you want, but doing what the people who are counting on you need you to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is one thing that I had to do. You know, I've been doing it for 10 years. I can't continue to drag them back and forth, and you know, in these unstable environments. My daughter's gonna be going to school soon, so this BCHS job was, you know, something that kind of just fell in place, and I think it's going to work out well for me.
And maybe we buried the lead because we should say Kyle is the new head coach of Bakersfield Christian. I
As
saw
of Monday, right? Officially?
Officially, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, unofficially, we've been hearing about this for a long time, really, in the basketball world. How did this whole situation come about, and when did you really kind of put your hat in the ring?
A few months ago, I would say maybe close to December, I think.
you had a Facebook post that something to the effect of you never thought you would be a coach,
No.
but you sort of, it dawned on you that's what you wanted to do.
I fought it for a long time.
Why is that?
Because coming up through college and even through high school, I watched coaches come and go, you know, fired, losing their jobs, getting jobs, whatever. And you're putting your livelihood in the hands of kids.
Right.
I mean, let's face it, they're kids. College, they're kids. So I didn't really, you know, I wasn't looking forward to that being my situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I really can't fight it because everything I do is teaching, and you know, even when I'm on the court, I'm coaching. You know, so it's just something that was inevitable, and I had to just accept it.
Was BCHS a place you wanted to be? Was it just the first open job? How do you land there?
If it was, you know, I could have took a collegiate coaching job as an assistant coach. You know, with all the connects I have with that and the past coaches I've played for. But you know, if I would have taken that, I would have been right back to traveling and moving around, and
Sure.
it just would have pretty much been the same situation. So I think in the high school level, BCHS would be the only job that I would take. So if I wasn't to get that, then, you know, I don't know.
Back to the drawing board then. Yeah.
Probably. I probably would continue playing, honestly.
You say it's the one place you wanted. What about Bakersfield Christian makes it special to you?
Because the facilities are great, the people are great, the administration, the kids. It's almost like a collegiate type of atmosphere, you know. So I kind of feel comfortable there. You know, the religious background, I feel comfortable there too. I've been at Stockton Christian my whole life. Then I was at Garces, so that's where I kind of you know have my base, and I think I'll feel comfortable there overall. You know, any of the other schools, I think it would be like a, you know, kind of tug of war thing with me. Bakersfield
Christian's won state championships in volleyball. They came close in football. They probably would have won one in football with Derek Carr if this same system existed now that didn't then. So there's a high level of expectations and success there. What are your expectations competitively for this job?
I would say, you know, the mentality. Obviously, you said Darren Carr. They have the mentality in football. And basketball, they don't quite yet understand what it takes to be good, be competitive every single day on a high level to where when you get to playoffs, you're a competitive team, like kind of like we were at Garces.
Right.
So I'm looking to change the mentality overall of the kids that are coming through that program. so that the expectation is already set from the young kids that are coming in, to the older kids, seniors that are going to be leaving.
Kyle, were you? I think I actually might have covered at least 2 of your games when you were at Nevada. I'm trying to think. Were you there when Jermaine Blackburn ripped his shoulder out on the net at Boise State?
At Boise State, I think so.
Were you on that team that they?
I know Jermaine Blackburn.
Yeah.
So.
I think you were on that team then.
Maybe, yeah.
So I think that's a small world. I'm just trying to think. I was like, you know what? I think that the 2 years that I covered their basketball team, you were actually on that team.
Did you look like you did in that Air Force shot you posted on Facebook this morning? Because that was disturbing.
Yeah. Dude, I was like 170 pounds in that. That's 100
you do
pounds
not look
ago.
like the
That's
same
incredible.
person. This journey that basketball's taken you on, Kyle, did you always know you wanted to work in basketball and live in basketball, or has it kind of been a year-by-year process? And here you are, 12 years after you graduated high school.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing basketball since I was 5 years old. My father was a coach. My mother was a coach. I've been around the game. That's pretty much all I've known. And then everything that it's given me and provided for my family and provided for me and shown me. So, yeah, I've always wanted to do something with basketball. I knew I would.
What's your message to your current roster at BCHS?
Get ready to work. No more time off. I just had I worked out one of my guards, and he had taken a month off. And I said, I've never experienced a month off, barely a week off. My wife looked at me crazy just from the time I got back. She said, it's been a week since you worked out. I've never seen that. So I need that attitude that I have and have had to kind of relay to them, and the toughness and the work ethic, and, they need to be ready.
How much are you and the Cards going to kind of feed off of each other, with all of you guys being, former professional athletes in some way, shape, or form? Do you guys feed off each other, and is that going to be a working relationship you're going to have with them? Because obviously you got guys like Jeremiah Foster, Michael Foy that are going to play both sports. I mean, how much of that are you going to feed off of each other? Because that really is kind of a unique situation now with you're there and with the Cards there on the football team. It's really unique and kind of a special thing going.
Yeah, I don't really know. My father knows the Cards very well, but I don't know them very well. But I spoke to Darren, and he's a great guy. Mm-hmm. You can just tell. I don't even have to meet him. And everything that he stands for. I just want to, carry that on to the basketball court for his guys that are playing football. And so it'll be pretty easy because he's already teaching it. That's for one. And then all the knowledge he has about, football and the experience in that family. I think that them teaching that will, once again, make my job much easier on the basketball court for the guys that are coming over. So right. I think it's great,
As a guy who, like you said, just got done averaging 20 points a game in a playoff series, how much do you insert yourself in practice? I mean, are you going to feel that itch to get out there and put the ball on the floor and that sort of thing? Do you already?
Yeah, I kind of have to stop myself. If I'm going through offense, I kind of already just here, give me the ball, and I do it. So I kind of got to step back sometimes. But at the same time, I think it's good that the kids can see me come off and show them how to use the ball screen the correct way or, the proper footwork to do something. So I kind of like them to see how it's done full speed because I'm still able to do that. So as long as I'm able to, I'm going to continue to kind of let them, look at me do stuff. So,
this is the fresh way to look at it, too. If you think about it, you've got a lot of guys kind of leaving town with AJ, Dave Purdy stepping down, but you got guys like Kyle, Wes Davis over at Foothill, a buddy of yours, Matt Robus.
Yeah, Matt
is over at East.
Yeah,
so you look at 3 young guys that are kind of up and coming in the area. Jeff Hicks taking over at Liberty. All these guys, you're friends with all these guys. Is this kind of like, do you feel maybe this is like that new fraternity of boys basketball coaches in Kern County?
Yeah, it could be. I think coaching is more than just saying, hey, I'm a good coach. It's implementing a philosophy. You got to put time into it. I mean, let's face it. I think the community in Bakersfield absolutely needs a higher level of teaching and coaching as far as basketball goes. I mean, these kids, they don't know so much, and it's a little depressing for someone like me who has a high respect for the game and everything it's given me, So, yeah, I think Matt, I think Matt's going to do a great job over there. That's my guy. I have nothing for respect for him. So, the few guys, like you said, coming up, I hope they do a good job. I hope everybody puts in a lot of work for these kids.
We got to take our last break, but last question, Kyle. When you're on the sidelines, are you going to be a suit and jacket guy? Are you going to be a polo guy, a Hawaiian shirt guy, AJ Sharon, where we don't know what you're going to wear? Have you decided on that yet?
I could be you don't know what I'm going to wear, but I like, slacks and, I could be a suit and tie
The
guy.
professional look.
Yeah, that's kind of more so me a lot of times.
All right, then we'll check you out this coming fall at Bakersfield Christian. Kyle Shiloh. Again, Finland, what's the league there?
Chorus Liga.
The Chorus Liga champions of 2016 and the new boys basketball coach at Bakersfield Christian. Kyle, thanks for joining us, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back on BVarsity Live to wrap things up after this.